You see this guy? Yeah, he's a pedo. Let me explain. I met Omi when I was 16, nothing wrong with having minor friends. But what is wrong is when you start being weird about it. We used to have this group, Could the Night Watchers or something like that. It was our live stream name. I had my own called Club Royal. When I first met Umi, I told him and everyone on live I was 16, and they all started calling me cute and such in my DMs or like in comments. Then they started shipping me and Umi together. Yeah, you heard that right, shipping. You would think Omi would have a bit of a strong no reaction, but what did he do? He smiled and jokingly said, "No guys, we are just friends," as if he liked them saying that. After a bit he added me on Discord, where I started making him art, and he asked me to ship it to him. So I did. That's not really a problem. The problem was how he asked, because for one of them, I made it of Club Royal, and it was mine, but he really wanted it, so I gave it to him for free, mind you. And I made him a bracelet that he wore every day, which is fine because we were friends, but the next few parts will make this detail weird. My old name was Antihero, and someone else was named Lemon. They were 14, and Omi told them they were their best friend after telling me the same thing. When me and this other miner started fighting over him, he didn't even stop it. He just laughed and said, "Guys, I like you guys equally," with a big smile, as if miners fighting over him is appealing. This MF would call me on Discord almost every day. He would call me more than my BF would, which made my BF uncomfortable, so he asked me if he could join the call. I said yes, but Umi got a little defensive over it and said that no, because we weren't doing anything. But the reason my BF was uncomfortable was because Umie had said, "Hey, there is a furry con here, would you want to come with me? I can fly you out to the con, and since you're 16, I will let you in because I'm an adult." Me being a child, I was happy about that, and had asked my mom, and she was like, "Oh, he wants you alone with him. Without us? Without your parents?" Yeah, no. Not to mention, furry cons have a lot of reports of bad shit happening to minors. And he wanted to take me there. Literally, at furry cons, you usually get your own rooms, so he wanted me, a 16-year-old, to share a room with him? Gross, he would literally beg me to call him. That's a bit weird, considering at the time he had a GF, but gave me more attention. That's literally why they broke up, because she was lonely. I for sure wasn't. The only reason I left, though, is because on Instagram Live his friends started talking shit about me, and he just sat there and laughed along. Which hurt because he made me feel so special and that I meant a lot to him. For context, I didn't like Umi like that, I just wanted a friend. But Umi made everything weird. That's why I find the text behind me so ironic, because right after I left he started playing the Miners Don't Interact card. Anyways, mine is out. You see this guy? Yeah, he's a pedo. Let me explain. I met Omi when I was 16, nothing wrong with having minor friends. But what is wrong is when you start being weird about it. We used to have this group, Could the Night Watchers or something like that. It was our live stream name. I had my own called Club Royal. When I first met Umi, I told him and everyone on live I was 16, and they all started calling me cute and such in my DMs or like in comments. Then they started shipping me and Umi together. Yeah, you heard that right, shipping. You would think Omi would have a bit of a strong no reaction, but what did he do? He smiled and jokingly said, "No guys, we are just friends," as if he liked them saying that.
He is still around. And Hayes live right now. Umi is a pedo and probably a rapist. He has a whole Google Doc on him right now. And no one cares. I'm not the only victim. He has at least 5 others. Go, report him. Or literally anything. He has more followers now and they don't know anything Hayes done. He sent minors money, tried to get minors alone with him, manipulated minors into free shit, and so much more. I've literally messaged one of his friends with all the proof, and they didn't care. So I'm pretty sure Yumi isn't the only one who's a bad person. And on top of that, brother's gonna go live like nothing happened, like he didn't hurt minors and sometimes adults. Let me recreate what you should do if a minor talks to you.
Hi, I'm a miner.
A getaway, you parasite. Okay, maybe don't do that. But the point is, don't talk to them. Don't do it.
Talking to minors is not okay. Right, Penny? There are other ways to get sticky.
Now why the hell? Hey guys, it's me again.
You see this guy? Yeah, he's a pedo.
Some of you have probably seen my videos already, but today I want to talk a little bit more about it. Starting with evidence that he would spam me to call. I'ma put it all on screen. And if you still don't believe me, here is a clip of his voice.
Hey, Anti, want to call?
I know I'm not a part of this, but I just wanted to mention that Yumi had a server full of kids and adults, and he would actively mod minors, which is just weird, but even worse, that the modded minors had access to his not safe for work server, where well, I'll just show you. Yeah, you read that right. He had 15-year-olds with full access to a call that could have potentially traumatized them. Anyways, back to Penny. Blee.
And you know how I said he had minors fighting over him? Well, in this you can clearly see where I only said we were just friends because they were upset. And Yumi got all butthurt. But like, why would you even want to call a minor your best friend? And there is so much more. I've messaged his friends with proof.
And a lot of them didn't care. And there are more people like this.
Now I'm going to read some of the victim statements. We would go live together and eventually met up in person and everything seemed normal, but I began to notice oddities in his personality after a month or so of hanging out in person. He would come to my house without letting me know around 1 a.m. claiming he was in the area when he lived 2 hours from my home and had no valid reason of being in my area at that time. And then there is this, in March of 2024, he invited me to go hang out with one of his friends and refused to disclose who they were and how old they were prior to this arrangement because he has a habit of having minor friends. In addition, as a 21-year-old adult man to that, as far as I am aware, he has dated one girl under the age of 18. He finally told me the girl was 17 when we got to her place to pick her up 2 hours away from my house, and I was extremely uncomfortable with the situation but unable to leave as I didn't have transportation back home. Aside from Umi, he has admitted to me on multiple occasions that he was using me and my friends for clout and to gain popularity, in which I blocked him for a while to take in the information and figure out how to move forward, as I don't like being used for any reason.
All of this can be found in the official Beware of Yumi Google Doc.